We've all seen the incredible videos. Humanoid robots that can walk, talk, and even learn new skills with terrifying speed. The future is here. But what you're not being told is that, with this incredible leap, forward comes a new invisible threat. These marvels of engineering could also be the perfect Trojan horses for data theft, social engineering, and even physical threats. Today, we're putting two of the biggest philosophies under the microscope. China's rapid, hardware-focused robotics boom, and Google's software-first AI-driven approach. As a cybersecurity expert, I'm going to break down their hidden vulnerabilities to answer one critical question: which approach is truly building a safer future? When we bring a robot into our home or workplace, we aren't just introducing a new appliance. We are introducing a network of sensors, cameras, and microphones, all controlled by an AI that is constantly learning from its environment. This creates an unprecedented attack surface. A compromised robot isn't like a hacked email account. It could become a mobile surveillance device, a tool for industrial espionage, or a vector for sophisticated attacks that manipulate human behavior. But here's the fundamental trade-off. The more human-like and capable these robots become, the more data they need to collect, and the more trust they ask from us. That trust can be exploited. This isn't theoretical. We are already seeing the battle lines being drawn between two fundamentally different philosophies of AI and security. On one side, we have China's aggressive, hardware-focused deployment. On the other, Google's software-first safety framework approach. Let's break them down. China has made humanoid robotics a national priority, and it shows. The country is experiencing an explosion of development, led by a new generation of incredibly agile and fast-moving robots from companies like Unitree and Agibot. First, let's look at the trend of social-focused robots, like Unitree's H1. These robots are designed for interaction, capable of voice and facial recognition to create a more natural, human-like experience. But from a security perspective, this is a goldmine for social engineering. A robot designed to be disarming and trustworthy is a walking, talking biometric data collection platform. The cameras used for natural interaction are constantly capturing facial data. The biggest red flag with many of these systems is their black box design. Without open APIs or developer kits, independent security researchers have no way to audit the system for vulnerabilities. We don't know where that data goes, how it's stored, or who has access. It's a completely opaque system asking for a very high level of trust. Then we have industrial powerhouses, like the robots being developed by XPeng. XPeng's PX5, unveiled at their tech day, showcases incredible stability and dexterity, with highly articulated hands capable of fine manipulation. These robots are designed for factory floors and complex tasks. For industrial settings, keeping sensitive intellectual property, like factory blueprints, secure is paramount. The goal is often to keep operational data on the device itself, which is a significant security strength that reduces the risk of cloud-based interception. However, this creates a major paradox. While daily data might stay local, the robot still needs cloud connectivity for software updates and patches. This remote update mechanism is a potential backdoor. If the manufacturer's cloud infrastructure were compromised, an attacker could push a malicious update to an entire fleet of robots, turning them into industrial spies. And with advanced 360-degree vision systems combining LiDAR and depth cameras, the potential for espionage is enormous. It's also worth noting that XPeng has a history of data privacy issues, receiving a fine in 2021 for illegally collecting facial data in its car showrooms. Google's approach to robotics is fundamentally different. Instead of focusing on a single, all-purpose robot, they've been building the AI brain to control the machines, prioritizing safety and responsibility from the ground up. Google DeepMind's work centers on systems like AutoRT, which uses powerful models like Gemini to allow robots to understand their environment and learn new tasks. The core of their safety philosophy is something they call the robot constitution. This is a set of safety-focused prompts programmed directly into the AI, inspired by Isaac Asimov's famous laws of robotics. The first and most important rule is simple. A robot may not injure a human being. This constitution acts as a foundational safety layer. It prevents the robot from even attempting tasks that involve humans, sharp objects, or electrical appliances. This is a hard-coded layer of logic designed to prevent harmful actions. Beyond that, their system is designed for constant learning and evaluation, using both real-world test deployments and simulations to find weaknesses before they can be exploited. Crucially, Google has taken a stance of radical transparency, publishing extensive research on their safety frameworks. This is a complete 180 from the proprietary black box approach. Google provides the safety tools and the audited AI models, making it clear that building a safe robot is a shared responsibility with the developers who use their tech. However, this is also a potential weakness. The effectiveness of the entire safety system depends on how well developers implement it. On-device models might lack some of the safeguards of their more powerful cloud-based counterparts, creating a risk of inconsistent security standards. If a developer cuts corners, a robot powered by Google's AI can still be compromised. So, which approach comes out on top? Well, it's not that simple. There is no single safest AI, only a safer AI for a specific purpose. For high-security institutional environments, like banks, government facilities, or research labs, the winner is clearly Google's AI framework. The reason is transparency. Google's published Robot Constitution and its model of developer accountability allow an organization's internal security team to audit, verify, and customize safety policies. This model provides a defense in depth that can be independently validated, which is non-negotiable in a high-stakes environment. For industrial manufacturing, the verdict is more nuanced, but the edge goes to the Chinese hardware-first approach, with some major caveats. The principle of keeping privacy data on device is a massive advantage for protecting intellectual property. The physical robustness of robots like Xpeng's PX5 is also a plus. However, any organization looking to deploy these systems must demand independent security certifications and a full audit of their remote update mechanism. Without that, the risk of industrial espionage remains far too high. And finally, for consumer and household use, my verdict is simple. None of them are safe enough. Not yet. The opaque biometric data collection seen in some social robots is a privacy nightmare for the home. The persistent surveillance capabilities of industrial-grade hardware and the cloud connectivity paradox create long-term tracking risks. And while Google's framework is sound, its safety depends on the final implementation by a manufacturer. The absence of universal safety standards is a significant barrier to their safe deployment in our homes. This brings us to the biggest problem of all, the regulatory vacuum. As of early 2026, there are no universally agreed-upon security standards for humanoid robots. Unlike the automotive or aviation industries, this field is still the Wild West. Companies are essentially beta testing their security in public, and the consequences of failure are enormous. Across all platforms, critical gaps remain. We lack standardized policies for how biometric data is collected and deleted. The supply chains for critical components aren't transparently audited for security holes. And the legal ambiguity around liability, who is responsible when a robot causes harm, discourages the very transparency we need. So what can you do? First, be skeptical. Question the claims of any company that offers a proprietary black box system with no independent security audits. Demand transparency. Support companies and researchers who publish their safety frameworks and collaborate with the security community. The race for AI dominance is also an arms race for security, and right now, we are all on the front lines. The safest AI won't be in the robot with the most impressive backflip, but the one whose security model we can audit, whose data handling we can control, and whose failures we can predict. What do you think is the biggest security risk with humanoid robots? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to stay ahead of the curve on AI and cybersecurity, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching.